crypto bros and the Bitcoin people might have actually been correct. And I hate to say this, and it's like the worst thing that has happened, but censorship is not only coming for you, censorship is already here, and it's affecting gaming for now. YouTube has been affected for a while now. For example, on YouTube, you know how all these people on YouTube, the creators, use words like unalive, and they censor words, and they say frick instead of and they say grape instead of, and PDF files and all those kind of things, right? Why is that? That is not, I mean, you don't like get straight up banned, for example, if you use those words, but how creators get paid on YouTube is via ads. And if the people who control the ads don't like those certain words, then you cannot have ads on your videos anymore if you do use those words. And that's obviously kind of bad, right? So obviously you are kind of forced to self-censor yourself unless you get the revenue through like a different system like Patreon and like off-site sponsors and stuff like that, right? So that's that. But now censorship is here for gaming. And it might be here to stay because it already affected Steam and itch.io. So, in case you're not aware of what is happening, basically there is a anti-pornography group apparently in Australia. We're gonna go over that in a second. And they have written like an open letter to payment processors like MasterCard, Visa, etc. Basically, some of the biggest payment processors out there in the world. And if you want to buy something on Steam, for example, or itch.io, you need to use those payment processors to buy items. And they have now said that you need to remove all 18 plus not safe for work games. Otherwise, we will not support your platform anymore. And of course, probably because it's the easiest thing to do, those platforms are complying because like, you can't just lose some of the biggest payment processors in the world, otherwise people would not be able to pay on your platform anymore. So that makes sense for them. But like that is a precedent in a very, 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 very bad way to give that kind of power to some very specific corporations that have probably contacts with some governments or whatever the hell, right? So basically now, if you're like a person in Germany, for example, like I am, right? And you wanted to buy a 18 plus freaking yaoi 2 dudes super kissing passionately on Steam, you can't anymore, right? Because like some company in America decided we don't like that stuff anymore and it's gone. And why is this like super bad? Because like you could say whatever your opinion is about 18 plus games, not safe for work games, etc., etc., etc. But do you think this will stay at this? So number one, they come, of course, for the easiest target, which is like 18 plus games. And of course, they say it's to protect women and to protect children. And of course, they have some mentions of games with graping and stuff like that. And obviously that's bad, right? I don't want to have those games either. But of course, they use it to like straight up ban all of it. And that's like step one. If this is like already established that like payment processors can do such a thing, what stops them, for example, for blocking GTA 6 whenever it comes out, right? That game is usually 18 plus, right? There's like lots of shooting. There's like lots of things you can do sexually in those games as well. So what happens then? What happens when Witcher 4 comes out and you like kill a lot of people and there's a lot of blood? Doesn't matter. Will it get banned? I don't know. Or will it get through because it's a fantasy game? That's one. But then also thinking in the bigger picture, and that I just said American companies, American situation, what's happening there, my only other videos, you can watch them, right? There have been some conservative people in America that have basically come out and said, there was like one person, like one governor or something, who said like, yeah, I do not want my state to teach consent in schools anymore. And that's asinine. That's fucking ridiculous asinine. Like there is no justifying factor you can ever say or bring up to like protect that statement, right? It's just like crazy. Then like other people went on like they want to ban quote unquote pornography from like public places, like libraries. And as a person who works at libraries, and there were like things in like the fucking court, right, where they apparently have to say the truth and shit like that. What they meant, you know, they don't just mean like erotic books, right? And we are having short side tangent. We are having in our library a discussion right now because once you turn 12, you can literally check out all books, because books in Germany do not have like a qualification for like how old you need to be to buy them or like rent them, right? It's different for like media, like DVDs. They have like different like what's it called, requirements for how old you need to be. Like we have like 0, 6, 12, 16 and 18 for media, like DVDs and games, but like books don't have that. But our library is like set up in a way where after you turn 12, you can like basically check out everything from the adult section as well. And we do have a few like 14, 13, 15-year-old girls where we have noticed that they have checked out a lot of those like erotic and like dark erotic books. And it's like those books with like 50 trigger warnings at the top, right? So you know what I mean. Like Shades of Grey is like harmless in comparison to like those books nowadays. So that's crazy. And we have been thinking if we do want to do something about it, because like that would be censorship in a way as well. We've not have a conclusion just yet, but it is a discussion that we had. So of course I can understand in a way where this comes from, but here's the thing, in America, that is not what that person meant. They literally want to ban educational books as well. You know, like one of those like books you get in school where you see what body parts you have, how those body parts work, and then later how like babies are made, like all that kind of stuff. They literally want to ban that for anyone under 18. You cannot go to your public library and get like an educational book unless you're like 18. Is that not crazy? And here's where it gets even worse. They do not use the word pornography for anything like what it like actually means. Like you watch like a freaking hentai video, or you go like on Pornhub, you know, and watch a video there. That's not what they mean. They are literally defining pornography as anything that they see as obscene and they want to get rid of. So you start with the video games. You're probably gonna go to like violent video games next, right? Because those lobbyists have like been trying to do this for years and years and years anyway, right? Like basically since games existed, they went like, oh my god, video games are so bad for people, and all those kinds of things. And like studies have proven over and over and over and over and over again that's not the case. But now here's the next step. What comes next? And your brain might be moving, and I'm moving my mouth. The next step obviously is, if they don't like gay people, you ban all the games with gay people in them. You don't like bi people, ban all the games with bi people. Trans people, they are banned like yesterday already. Like what? Literally, the next step is to like for itch.io and Steam to ban every single game with like LGBTQ tag, right? Dragon Age, Veilguard, gone, right? All those like games, those visual novels, or like those like cool little games, Celeste, banned, you know? All those games could potentially be banned. And that is like that is crazy and scary, and it's an insane precedent to have. So I know I yapped like for quite a long time in this video already, but let us go to the browser actually, because I need to show you a few things. So with these types of videos, I try to become like at least like a little bit like familiar and prepared with what is happening. So this is an article that came out, I mean, today, but like the whole thing has come out a few days ago. So this is like games marketplace itch.io to de-index all not safe for work games following pressure from anti-porn lobby group, and we're gonna get to that. But basically, as I mentioned, the anti-porn lobby group wrote a letter to like the payment processors, and the payment processors have now said like, yeah, okay, we're siding with them. Fuck those game selling companies and sites. We don't like that. So here's some examples, right? And basically, itch.io, I believe, was the first, and Steam was second. The move was reportedly made after payment processors, including Visa and MasterCard, scrutinized several gaming marketplaces, including itch.io and Steam, and shared concerns they had about adult content hosted there. So, do I have a question for you, right? If they can go after itch.io and they can go after Steam, the literally biggest game selling platform in the entire world, what is stopping them from going after like Patreon next? Or like, yeah, going after patrons, you cannot buy any like naked pictures from people anymore. Then they go like after Fansly and after like OnlyFans and like all those sites. And next they're gonna go like to all like the adult film websites, and you cannot pay memberships and shit there anymore, right? So that's like, it's cascading in a very weird way. And then the itch.io creator said, our ability to process payments is critical for every creator on the platform. That's true. To ensure that we can continue to operate and provide a marketplace for all developers, we will prioritize our relationship with the payment process and take immediate steps towards compliance. I mean, like, this is like, what can you do, right? If you are literally getting threatened with either you cannot sell anything anymore ever again, or you do this thing that we demand of you. So there literally is no other step for them they can do. And you could say like, yeah, maybe get like payment processors up for like Bitcoin and like cryptocurrency and maybe PayPal. I don't know if PayPal, on what side they are, right? No idea, they are not mentioned here. But that takes time to get like these other things going. And the like what did they call it? The anti-porn lobby group that they mention here is Collective Shout. And short trigger warning, we're gonna go onto the website for Collective Shout right now. It is marked as not trans-friendly by Shinigami Eyes, and also what I've seen from a first glance on that website is fucking disgusting. So if you don't want to see that, maybe skip a few minutes in the video, okay? So this is a website, and it already starts. This looks like a freaking quote already. Help us take some of the biggest companies in the world, ban porn on X, and like, oh my god, it doesn't even let me continue the other way. Why is it not working? The website doesn't even work. Shit. But basically, they wanna like ban porn literally everywhere. And look at that. They are like happy that Steam is getting like removed. Like all of those things are getting removed. And of course, they're doing it and saying it's only like games with like sexual abuse and stuff like that. They're complaining that they are getting threats now, and then they're saying that, of course, this is to protect women and girls. New policy on Steam, rape and incest games removed. And again, if it was only rape and incest games, literally, I have no problem with that, like, because like I don't need that stuff in games anyway. But like giving the payment processors this kind of like power, ooh, that's not good. Global anti-sexual exploitation leaders call on payment gateways to stop profiting from rape, incest, and child abuse-themed games. And we know about MasterCard and Visa. No idea how the other like payment processors work on so far. But this has happened. So the open letter, by the way, the open letter happened on July 11th. And now, not even 2 weeks later, itch.io and Steam has already removed stuff. So you see how much like power and money probably is behind this, right? And this is, oh my god, like, don't go onto this website. I have another thing here. Steam removing adult games shows you can even censor another country's free speech, claims Nier creator Yoko Taro. And Yoko Taro is not without like his controversies as well, but in general he's like a beloved game developer, obviously from the Nier franchise, and he's like very outspoken for stuff like that as well. Of course, he made like the 2B one, and I think he like even retweeted some pictures back in the day on Twitter of like 2B's ass when that was like a meme and stuff like that, right? So he's now saying that like basically his free speech gets censored by another country. And yeah, that's literally what I've been telling you, right? It doesn't matter what the rules in your country are. If freaking all hail America decides to, they will censor like every little bitty of skin now. No little bitty titties anymore and no big boobylicious asses anymore. You don't get that shit anymore, right? So that's like obviously scary, right? And then we have basically the same thing on Twitter here as well. So let's see what Reddit, so what some people say, right? In a post on his personal X, Yoko Taro commented about credit card payment companies refusing to process for legal adult content. Go beyond the law, but that's a payment processor, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's dangerous on a whole different level, as I said as well. And basically, you give the power of like free speech and what you can consume to the people that manage your money. And like honestly, people that manage your money should do one thing: they should manage your money. They should give your money from your bank to the other person's bank that you paid, nothing more, right? Here, where are these payments processors when we raise issues about loot boxes? Yeah, they don't care about gambling. Gambling is nice. Gambling makes money. It's not only that, Collective Shout is at fault for the games that are banned this week on Steam, and they want other games gone too. Like Detroit Become Human? What? And of course, as I said, apparently they want games with the LGBTQ tag on as well. I guess piracy is on the table again, right? Like, listen, if I can buy a game for like $10 on Steam, I will not bother going to freaking some random website to try and pirate it. I will pay the $10. But if you now tell me that I can no longer legally buy my game because some random ass payment processor said like, yeah, we don't like two girls kissing in a video game, then it's getting pirated, okay? It's getting pirated. But obviously this means if like people cannot legally sell games in like the official way anymore, if this stays, then less games of that nature will be developed, and it's like literally 27 million steps backwards into like Neanderthal age. It's crazy. It's a security role that endangers democracy itself. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. It always starts like this. We're introducing it to ensure safety. We're doing this to protect children. Literally the same way in America, the same talking points they use to go like after trans people, protecting children, protecting women's spaces, all that bullshit they are now using once again. How is there no like rule book how many times you can use that one excuse to do bullshit things? Anyway, I did wanted to bring this to the table like real quick, just so you know what's going on. Maybe you've been wondering as well, maybe you heard this as well. Of course, I'm super against it. It's like very dangerous precedent to set, and yeah, welcome to the age of censorship. That's fun.